Hey there, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblen, the CEO and president of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with another one of our Zoom chats that are available for our members of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce. A really great way of uplifting your business, your organization, or what you're doing in the community. And I'm so glad to have with us today Penny Peace, who is the gallery manager for the Doña Ana Arts Council. So, Penny, you're fairly new to the area,
Yes.
new-ish, and you have hit the ground running with
Oh, thank you.
being the gallery director for the Doña Ana Arts Council. So, if you will, tell us about the gallery, like some of the shows. I've been really happy because you featured some people that I love and near and dear to my heart. And so, tell us about the gallery and what you've been doing there.
Well, I'm so glad that we featured some individuals and artist exhibits that are dear to your heart. Um, the gallery, since we moved into the our new location at 230 South Water Street, I feel as if I have the world in my hand because it's a much larger space, number one, and it's actually in the historic district now, the downtown area. So I'm thrilled with that. And I have, of course, more walls. I will never have enough walls, you understand, but the wall space that we have now is considerably more than we had in our last location. That said, beginning certainly earlier this year, we began to, how can I put this, kind of rebrand, rewrap, remarket, reposition what we do. And we started that off, I'd probably say in February, not February, March, with a Women's History Month exhibit, which was phenomenal. It was exceptional. The name of that exhibit was Unfinished Business, Women's Power of Persistence. And this is going to become an annual event, and we'll be doing this again this March. Also, last year, we had a couple of other exhibits that I would like to point out. We did have one focused entirely, the full gallery, on the art of Indigenous artists,
Mhm.
which focused on some local artists, but we also had joining the gallery artists that coming from Santa Fe, from Taos, and et cetera, which also happened with the Women's History Month exhibit. We had representatives from the northern part of the state, as far away as Colorado, Arizona, other places. So we are expanding, throwing our net a little bit wider while our focus will continue to be on the county, of course. And I think that the other exhibit that I think, well, there are two more I'd like to mention. One is we had an exhibit that focused on young students. We had students from Alma de Arte with their artwork, and we even had students from Sierra Middle School. And those were such fun exhibits to have them there at like the first opening or a second Saturdays with your parents and just experiencing the exhibit experience. It was wonderful.
Well, I love
Um,
those kids at Alma de Arte. I've seen their artwork and Raul Dorn as their teacher. Absolutely incredible. So glad that you were able to uplift those young folks.
and they many of them show serious talent, which we are going to recognize at the Community Arts Awards, by the way.
Which is why we're talking. We're going to get to that in just a second. One of the things, I have to say, so, artwork is something that people feel is a luxury. And, the dear Glenn Cutter taught me this years ago that art is part of your expression, even if you're not an artist. And he taught me an appreciation for art so that I started, when I could afford it, to buy art and bring it into my home. And I'm wondering, what are the different ways that you see that people, in addition to being able to purchase, because being an artist is a job, it's a business, it's something that people can make a living at, and we've got a very rich artist community here.
Mhm.
But what are other ways that people can support the arts? I mean, the obvious is to buy art, but what are other ways?
Well, I think that other than financially through donations and sponsorships, I think for me, and I think for the Doña Ana Arts Council, it is being vocal. I think that's what we want to hear. It's a slightly different kind of support, but us here, not just us, but other art organizations and the local museums, we actually want to hear from you. We want to hear your reactions to the programs that we present within each of our organizations. We want to hear what you want. We want to we actually want the bad, the good, the ugly, also. So we want to hear from our, not just our art community, but as you pointed out, those who think that to go into a gallery, you're going into a shishi place and you have to pay attention to what you're wearing and you get served bad wine and all those things. We're trying to make our gallery, at least, a lot more democratic in that everyone is welcome. I like to tell the story that at some of our, she hasn't shown up lately, but at some of our first Friday openings, there was this homeless woman who would come in, very quiet. She would take some food, sit down in a chair, eat her food, be very quiet, and just sit there for a while. Not once did we think of asking her to leave, because she's a part of our community also. And if we can offer her comfort within our gallery, that's a gift to us. So I think the first thing is to, number one, be vocal, to show up. As you pointed out, we have such a rich community of artistic expression here in the, not just Las Cruces, but in the county. And my conversations with other organizations, we're all focusing on the same thing. One is collaboration, and number two is audience outreach. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I think that in terms of how we can, the kind of support that we need is also in terms of support of the entire artistic community. There are a lot of people in Las Cruces who have never been to, for example, the University Art Museum. Our institution of higher learning is right here in Las Cruces, and they have an art department. Also, attending, popping into the Las Cruces Museum of Art. They have wonderful children programs. And so I think number one, it is to communicate with us, number one.
Well, you've got a lot on your plate to be able to do that, but I think those are some really clear directions which are needed in order to not necessarily create artists, because we've got a lot of incredible folks who are doing that in our local schools and our communities, but really to help uplift them and share the value of art in our community, because it often, whenever we have challenging times, art is the first thing to go. And
True.
we have to realize how much it enriches our lives and really put a value on that. And that's the hard thing to do, is to put a value on that. Well, Penny, one of the things is,
if I could just add one thing to the value, because art can have and does have a tremendous impact on our youth. Through art, they can learn how to, create. They can learn how to work as a team. The statistics on the impact that exposure to art, not necessarily the practice of art, but exposure to art has on our youth is really something we cannot ignore.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one of the things that you're doing as part of your mission to help kind of uplift and create more awareness and be supportive is that you recognize folks in the community who have been advocates for the arts. And
Yeah.
Can you tell me about the history of the awards and just a kind of a quick reference as to who all you're recognizing?
Yes, well, interestingly enough, this may be a surprise to you, or maybe not, but this year's Community Arts Awards will be the 36th year. That's 36. Now, I can't, I've searched our archives for some kind of images or something that would tell me a bit more about those first few years, and I unfortunately cannot find anything. But I will say, certainly, the COVID, the pandemic, of course, I think it was in 2020 that the Community Arts Awards could not be live. But we did hold it at the Hood, and well, it was live online, but not live in person. So we followed up. 2022 was actually the first year that I experienced the Community Arts Awards, and it was a lot of fun, you know, total fun. This year, we're kind of making some changes. I mean, before I begin to list the awardees this year, I'd like to say that we're, you know, also, I mean, I'm not a vain person, but, you know, I don't think I am, but I don't understand why this is not the award to receive here in Las Cruces. And that's what I want to make the Community Arts Awards, you know? And we're doing that by kind of expanding again our audience, our demographics, our invitees, the awardees. Historically, from what I gather, the awards did focus a bit too much, I think, on the fine arts, the stuff we hang on our walls. So we're expanding our net. We're beginning to do that, and this will happen next year for sure, to include the, you know, performing arts, performance art, which ignore the digital arts, and the literary arts. I'd love to get more writers recognized by our, you know, awards committee. That said, this year, the interesting for me, I think, is the interesting news is that we have created two new awards this year. One is called the Emerging Artist Award, which recognizes those who are, say, age 22 to 35, who really show exceptional work and great promise. I think that we need to bring that younger group forward and into our family, and we're doing that this year. I'm giving two awards. One award is going, they're both graduates of New Mexico State University Art Department. Yay. And their names are Asia Thomas Mandelman and Yashoda Blackcar. And they're both amazing, amazing women artists. The second new award is, we are calling that the Future Generation of Art Award. And this award will be going to middle and or high school students. All right. And this year, and their work is, you know, as you have seen, I've seen some of their work, and it's really amazing, and it keeps us on our toes. The awardees this year will be Madison Smith, who is a senior at Alma de Arte, and Cora Richardson, who recently left Sierra Middle School and is now a freshman at Alma de Arte. So we're really thrilled to have those new two awards. I'll quickly go through the list of the other awardees. Probably our most prestigious award is the Papin Family Award. And this year we are giving this award to Joseph Flores, who's the coordinator for teaching and learning fine arts at the Las Cruces public school system. And he's done amazing work in developing art programs within the public school system. And we've worked with him a couple of times, and we have so much admiration for him. The Community Arts Awards, which is which we give to recognize an individual, organization, or business whose work is focused on motivation and service. This year, we're giving this award to an organization that I think many people have not heard of. That's the Learning Action Buffet, also known as LAB, L-A-B. And they create a space where youth and adults can work together in creating art and music, the spoken word. We have collaborated with them several times to bring them into our gallery for workshops. And I think that they seriously need the recognition because their mission very much aligns with the same mission that we at the council have, but they're there to serve our youth. Now, the Public Service to the Arts Awards is going to someone by the name of Carrie Hamblen, but I can move on from that.
Yeah.
And the Arts and Education Award recognizes an individual whose leadership and spirit promote and shape the visual literary arts in our community. And this year, the recipient is Abby Osborne, who is a professor of arts at the Doña Ana Community College, and she's an individual who has this very quiet but powerful spirit
Yeah.
about her, and is so supportive of her students. And every year, we give Abby space in our gallery where we can exhibit the digital art of her students, and they're on the cusp there, and we have to keep that in mind. Her students. Now, the Art in Public Space Places Award, as the title, the name of the award says, recognizes an individual who has created or placed art on permanent view within our county. And the recipient, which I think you're going to appreciate also, is Christina Balu, former chair of the City Art Board and the co-founder and creative director of NMCO. And I just want to give out a shout out because she, as is true of our other recipients, but Tina has this, spirit that is so giving and so supportive of not just the arts, but the media within our county. Now, the Cultural Heritage and Development Award goes to an individual or group that has preserved or promoted the culture and heritage of our community and our geographic area. And this year, the recipient is Mariachi Agilas de la Cruz, and that is a very well-known mariachi group that is here in Las Cruces, and they've done much to keep authentic mariachi music alive here in the Southwest, especially here in the Las Cruces area. So we're very pleased to welcome them to the Community Arts Awards. The Newcomer Award, newcomer, it recognizes the energy and the spirit of someone who has lived in the county for fewer than 5 years. And this year, the award is going to Barbara Houghton, who is a innovator in digital arts who moved to Las Cruces, I don't know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
Wow.
And talk about hitting the ground running. She walked into the gallery, but she had only been here maybe a month. And since then, she's does everything for us, So we, chose her to receive the Newcomer Award this year. She's
Wow.
She's really amazing. And I think that is all 9 awards, So
Yeah.
And thank you for the opportunity to actually, give them a shout out, because each and every one, including one unknown recipient, has done so much to promote the arts here in the county with their work, their, everything. So.
Well, it's fantastic that you're recognizing all those folks, and I think it's a lovely tribute to really continue to help uplift the arts in our community and just recognize art comes in all different forms, and we want to make sure that we recognize the people who are creating that incredible art. And so if you'd like to go to the Arts Awards, now just to remind you, seating is limited. It's at the Hood in Mesilla, which is located at 3206 Harrelson Street. The evening's going to begin with a reception and with music provided by Alma the Arts students and food by Lorenzo's. And they're going to be recognizing all of these different folks. But because of the size of the venue, seating is limited, so RSVP is required. Tickets are $15 per person, $25 for 2. And what we'll do is we'll put the link where you can purchase your tickets either above or below. You can also call the Arts Council office, and I'll have that in their information as well. So you'll be able to see that either above or below, all depending on what platform you are looking at. And if you'd like to schedule a Zoom chat with me, you can go ahead and private message me here, and I'll go ahead and we'll book that up. But Penny, thank you so much for what you're doing and for recognizing people and for really getting just elbow deep in our arts community here as a newcomer to Las Cruces. So thank you so much. And I know I'm going to be seeing you around, so thank you. And I'm sorry I can't be there on the 8th, but I will be there in spirit. Please know that. And so thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
See you soon. See you at the awards.